Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a video inspired by some of your comments. I've seen every now and again, hey, do you still use this? Hey, is this still something you love? And I thought, you know what? Why not kind of go through some of the things I used to talk nonstop about and go through them with you and let you know where they're at on my makeup radar at the moment. Because some things maybe I'm using behind the scenes, but because I'm reviewing Boxycharm products or newer things from the drugstore, maybe I haven't talked about them on camera in a while. Maybe they're things that I actually just assume you guys know I use. All of those good things. Because as I was pulling out just a few of the things you were asking about and a few other favorites that I've had through the past, I was going, I forgot about you. Or, oh, yeah, I use you, but only in this season. And then some stuff I'm like, oh yeah, I've not stopped using you. Actually, I've hit more pan on you. So why don't you go ahead and grab your tea, grab your snack, grab your water, get comfy, because we are about to go through a bunch of makeup products that I'm going to answer your questions. Am I still using them or not? Cheers! Everything in here is my Boxycharm edition. All of the things you guys have been asking me about, or things that I know I just absolutely could not stop talking about for a while there. So if you want to see a drugstore version of this, let a girl know. First thing I'm going to jump into is something my husband has actually stolen from me. He's actually taken it and we're about down to, well, nothing with it. This is the Glow Recipe Avocado Melt Retinol Sleeping Mask. This is something I talked about a ton last year and in the beginning of this year, but maybe you haven't heard me talk about it in a while. Honestly, it's because my husband has taken it over, but yes, I still use this. I still really enjoy it, and oh yeah, you can definitely see bottom on this. This is a mask that the both of us have learned we love for our skin. It's something that I think Adam was almost using it too much at first, so I had to tell him like, hey, what are you using? Definitely be mindful with retinols, and I had to give him a little bit of education behind the scenes on it. Not that his skin was looking bad or anything, but he started being like, yeah, I was just using that nightly, and I was like, well, that's not a bad thing, but it is, you kind of want to lay off, kind of rotate. So we started talking about what he could rotate between, and yes, I am still looking at a video upcoming of what he could jump into for you to give you a little Adam's Corner, letting you know his thoughts on things that he likes or really didn't like, and he does not hold back. This is a product I like so much that without even knowing Adam was using this behind the scenes, I actually purchased another in a Boxycharm pop-up. So when Adam learned that, he was like, oh, okay, then I'm going to keep using it, because he loves this, and yes, I absolutely still use this and still love it. Now kicking it off with some primers. We've gotten a ton of primers this past quarter, really. I think I've gotten 3, maybe 4 primers that have really been competing for my attention so I can review them here on my channel. But something that a lot of you have been asking me, because we know that Becca's going to be going away soon now that we are into the September months, are when you see these on sale or when you see them in a TJ Maxx, you've let me know, and I really appreciate it. This is the Becca First Light Priming Filter. Some of you guys have been asking me, do you still love this and use this? And the answer is, heck yeah! I haven't been using it as much, I would say, through the summer because I've been trying so many things that I have received from Boxycharm to review for you guys and let you know my thoughts on it. But I did pull this out this morning when I was getting ready to do this video and try it on, and it is just nice illumination for the skin, but not in a way that is bad for oily skin girls. It is something that I will be so sad to not have once Becca is gone, but I did buy a backup of this, I think in either an Ulta sale for half off or maybe a box. No, it had to have been an Ulta one because I don't think Boxy's had this in a while. I do still love this and still use this. I still think it just kind of illuminates the skin. It makes your skin look beautiful and it helps that radiance show through makeup. I think it does a great job, and this is like my 3rd, and I think I have my 4th in the drawer. Now this is a product I used in the beginning of a face look, but also at the end of a face look. Alright, I think this is kind of old though. I think I got this, was it 2019? Does that make sense? I think so. I think I received this in like a Boxy Luxe or a Boxy Premium, and I've used quite a bit of it, but I have to say I've not used this maybe at all this year. This is the Smashbox Coconut Water Priming Water. So this is actually something that you could use at the beginning of your makeup just to kind of like get your skin all ready to go and prepped, and midway through and at the end if you'd like to. I used it a bunch, and I really loved it. You can see it's like down to here. I just kind of have gotten away from using this as I've been trying a bunch of other setting sprays, and it's not that I disliked this at all. I think it just was something that kind of worked its way out of my rotation and then kind of ended up in a drawer and I forgot about it. So it's not that it's bad, but I may just finish this guy up, but I don't know if I would actually purchase another one, to be honest, unless it just like revives some kind of major thing for me when I do try it again. Mist on as a primer, use as a setting spray, or refresh makeup / mood. Let's just play. I've tended to like a lot more primers that are pore filling, and this obviously wouldn't be a pore filling primer, so that could be also why my brain went away from it, but I forgot it does smell amazing, and I'm just now looking in the viewfinder realizing I forgot to put a gloss on. I have on a matte lippy, but I forgot my gloss. Okay, that's better. By the way, for those of you that have reached back out to me about, this is totally sidebar from the rest of this video. For those of you that reached out to me about the Lunar Beauty Gloss that we got from, I think a Boxycharm add-on or pop-up that also said they couldn't believe that theirs practically came empty. Yeah, mine's about there too. And some of you let me know you think it's because when it's in like a discount type thing, like a Boxycharm add-on or pop-up, that they only sell like less than full product, which sucks because this is about to get tossed. And it's so nice. But yeah, that was a very nice scent for the spray. I forgot how good it smells. And then just kind of like sits down on your makeup, kind of pulls it all together, maybe gives you a little extra oomph or shine. I've just kind of forgotten about it, so it's not really been something I've been using, honestly. Something else that kind of got replaced, and I have touched on this a bit, but not a bunch, is this Touch in Sol Body Illuminator. This is something I want to say again we got towards probably the end of 2019, and it's a product that can be a little messy because you like pour out this product that then illuminates your body, and it's a really nice product, and it is a little drying too, so it doesn't make you feel extra oily, and as an oily skin girl I can appreciate that. But this has technically, I guess if you want to call it that, been replaced by something much easier to use, something that's also not as big and bulky. I talked about it earlier this year, but this is my Eloise Body Glow. I love that this has a pump. It makes life so much easier when I'm wanting to juice up the body without a bunch of mess, because I'm super duper messy. And I do have a white beauty space that's good for filming because then it'll be better for coloration and things like that. But oh good golly, does it make a mess in here. So it's nice to be able to pump things out. Also, the formula's been pretty easy and consistent to work with. It may not even be my favorite formula comparatively. I'd have to do like a head-to-head, and I haven't really used this in a long time. But this is just so much simpler, and sometimes ease of use wins out. So this has been something that technically replaced this, but I still haven't gotten rid of this. Maybe I'll do a head-to-head and like unique things I got from Boxycharm. Maybe? Would you be interested in that video? Tell me below. Again, it's not that it's bad, it's just ease of use, off of radar. When something goes into like a bottom drawer and things are organized, you kind of don't want to just go mess it up just to see how you feel about something that could potentially leave a huge mess in the space I work all day long. The thing that really kicked off this video was something I recently mentioned in a video, and I was talking about powders because I had gotten a ton of powders from Boxycharm, which is great because I'm happy to see that we're getting makeup again from Boxycharm. Some months are worse, some months are better, but recently I've been trying some loose powders behind the scenes, and somebody asked me, hey, do you still love your Becca Soft Light Blurring Powder? And girl, it is so funny because the same day I had been using it, and I definitely have been pulling this out even more through the month of August, because this is something that helps to blur the face, but it also helps to balance out coloration. I've always thought this Becca Soft Light Blurring Powder, and this one is in the shade Pink Haze, it does not come across pink on your face, at least not if you're my skin tone, because this loose powder is really lovely for getting on a dome-shaped brush and really filling in some of the pores, blurring the face a bit, but also taking down some of the warmth or discoloration from either makeup underneath or your skin. Your girl went a little too heavy-handed one day with the bronzers and blush, and I think it's just because I had gotten a little bit more sun than I thought I had, so I was just applying maybe what I thought was the normal amount. My cheeks were way too rosy, and I was like, I need to bring her back down. How do I bring this back down? This. I put this all over my face and it ended up just smoothing everything back out, balancing the color, and it looked glorious all day. My makeup did not look cakey, it just looked complete. It had a beautiful finish to her because she does let your skin look like it's got a filter on it without having an actual filter. And goodness gracious, as the filters get crazier on Instagram and probably Snapchat, our mind gets a little warped with what we think we look like sometimes. So sometimes we just want to help ourselves out to look our best. Still do absolutely love this. And I'm going to keep an eye out at local TJ Maxx's and Marshall's for more of these. I have one other one in a deeper shade, but I do love this pink haze. I really do. Speaking of powders, there is a blush that I talked about a ton for doing a lot of those same things because I used it a bunch with this Becca powder just to kind of keep everything smooth and seamless. And I said that this blush was keeping everything smooth and seamless, and it still give you some nice healthy glow and warmth to your face. And I still agree with it, but I find I'm not using it as much. So that's when I started to kind of like dissect. Again, if my hand is going one way to a product and it's not going to something I really like, it kind of makes me stop and think, what's changed? Is it the way I'm liking my makeup? Is it the trends with makeup? What is it? I still think this is a really great product, but I've been leaning more into more of a matte blush than I was last year. So I've not reached for this as much. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Diffused Heat. I love this. I got this in like a Boxycharm add-on or pop-up. It's been lovely. I do still sing its praises. However, it has a glow to her. She's got lots of glow going on. And I feel like this year, maybe the trends with makeup, or maybe just the way I choose to do makeup, is a little less shimmery, a little less shiny, and a lot more specific things being shiny and other things being matte. I'm kind of looking for that nice balance for this face. This is still a beautiful blush. It's got a little bit of sparkle to her, but nothing that's overwhelming. But when I've been doing some of my favorite bronzers that do have some shimmer to them, this can tend to be just that another layer of. So as much as I like this and think it gives you a nice healthy look, I think in the summer, I was wanting something a little bit more matte just to keep me together through the day, but I can see myself pulling this back out for the cooler months that are coming up because I definitely still love her. She's just not something that I've reached for on the daily or weekly. Heck, she's definitely not even been something I've used monthly lately because it is so hot here in Florida. And I've been using some more of my matte blushes to kind of like balance her out. It's just been a personal preference thing, but I do still really like her. And like I said, probably going to use her as it cools down. Something that I have on the collarbones and on the shoulders today and just on the face with a sponge is something that I've loved using in the summer, but I've honestly not pulled it out much at all. And I think, again, it's because I've been doing a combination of less of a wet look this year and a little bit more of a glow. Like this ethereal glow look is what I've kind of been vibing with this year versus a wet glow. But I do have this on right now, and I forgot how pretty she looks and how she does not make my pores look rough or my other texture jump out. She just looks really smooth. This is the Steve Laurent Jelly Highlighter in the shade Prosecco Please. And oh my golly, this can make your skin look so juicy, so wet, like you just came out of the ocean. It is really beautiful. She's a bit of a deeper shade, but it works so well for my skin in the summer. Again, that's what I have on my collarbones, on the shoulders, and on the high points of my cheek. And I did that today with a damp sponge with the back end, just kind of letting her juice it all up. And I forgot how pretty that looks. Since highlighter trends have changed, I would definitely say over the past year, 2 years, we kind of do what works best for us. And I've been more glowy, like just letting my skin glow from within kind of look. But every now and again, you just want it to pop and make a statement. And this is still one of my summer favorites. So while I've maybe not used her as much, definitely still keeping her in the rotation because she's so, so pretty. And I love when my skin can just kind of like match it a little bit. And since the shade's a bit darker, it's the perfect time of year to be pulling this out. So pretty. So, so pretty. Speaking of highlighters, we kind of can't let it go without talking about this highlighter that I was ready, I think end of 2020. Was it in 2020? To get rid of it, because I saw this in one of my boxes and I was like, no, Nichole, you don't need another highlighter. There's so many highlighters in your collection. You don't need this. And then I was like, so glad I did try it. And then I told you guys when I saw it in the Boxycharm pop-up for like $4 or $6 that she's so worth it if you are on the market for an amazing highlighter that I want to say could be a formula dupe for the Becca. This is the Cali Glow from Beauty Creations. She's usually pretty cheap or inexpensive in the Boxycharm add-ons or pop-ups, and she is high quality. I'll be honest, again, because the glow that I've been going for is a little less bold, a little less in your face, and more subtle, more that skin juiced up glow, I have loved to still use this, but in a new way. I have been putting this, I've already juiced up the body, but I'm going to tell you, I've been using this to juice up the body. I'll go into this like Manhattan Beach shade with a little bit of Santa Monica, kick it off, and now we're going to really blind you. Go to some areas on my body where I just want that extra touch of glow. And it's usually in the same areas I already have the glow, so I'm just going to blind you like Rudolph. It's fine, it's fine. So a little less on the face, more on the body, but I still think these are beautiful. I still think the formula is not maybe an exact Becca dupe, but oh my golly, she definitely could be the kid sister. I think she's so great, so inexpensive. You get a ton of pan, a ton of product. I'm still so glad that I actually used this when I thought about giving it away because I can't get over how nice these are. They are also nice on the eyes. I have played around with these on the lids for summer as well, and they work great. So maybe I'm not using it on the daily anymore, but it is still something that's top of mind for me. Still love her. So I recently reorganized some of my drawers in here just to try to fit everything in and be able to know where things are category-wise in my drawers. So this piece kind of got moved to a spot that I use her less. But it doesn't mean I like her less. It just means I know she's on standby if I need her. Does this make sense? Because I'm telling you, when you have so much makeup from Boxycharm, Ipsy, my own purchases, a lot of you guys know because you guys are makeup lovers like me, you do tend to rotate your makeup. And this was a face and eye palette combination that I used so much in 2019 and in 2020. When 2021 rolled around and I hadn't been traveling as much or doing as much and I got more eyeshadow palettes and face products from Boxy and my own shopping, this did get pushed to the side a bit. However, I still love this. I still plan to actually take this weekend. When I'm filming this coming weekend is my 5-year wedding anniversary. And to treat ourselves, we're going to just do a little staycation, but we're going to go to a hotel. And I absolutely plan to take this because this all-in-one piece is great. I still love her. It's just not been something I've needed week to week so far this year. And that is the Tarte Clay Play Face Shaping Palette. Great eyeshadows and great face products. Y'all know I have fallen in love hardcore this year with some natural nude shadows. I like a good warm up brown, but also a cool tone brown just to really accent the eyes, especially this past year. I just have, and this absolutely meets all of that criteria. I believe I've even hit more pan on this year, probably in the beginning of the year. And these face powders are awesome. I really do like their clay formula. I think it is really nice. I still love these two for either carving out some cheekbones or the nose. I think it's also been a great bronzer though. So I feel like this is almost dual purposed. It could be a matte bronzer or it could be a contour. I've used it for both because depending on how much powders you apply, it could easily become both for your face, which is also why it's amazing. I forgot how good it smells. It smells amazing, and it also has a very quality mirror, which is nice for traveling as well. I got quite a few products, and one of them I'm going to talk about next, that have definitely taken over the eyeshadow category for me, so maybe I'd reach for this a touch less. But whenever I'm needing something for the face that's a powder, I still do think of this palette when I'm needing something matte that I can trust, that's not going to upset my makeup, make my makeup skip, or anything like that. I still think this is a super quality palette that I love. She's not going anywhere. I've just been trying a lot of stuff. Speaking of eyeshadow palettes, let's talk about some eyeshadow palettes. And the eyeshadow palette in mind that may have pulled me away from using these eyeshadows so much is the Wander Beauty palette. She came into my life in February, and look at that pan. That pan is an endorsement for how much I love this formula. I think these shades of nude, they may seem boring if you've not used it, but so many of you heard me talk about it so much that you're like, I guess I have to try this now because Nichole won't shut up about it. I fell in love. I clearly keep hitting more pan on this. I have not purchased a backup yet. And I haven't seen it recently in the Boxycharm add-ons or pop-ups, so I'm honestly thinking I may have missed my chance. I don't know yet. I was trying to not have too much because I feel like I do still have so much shadows. Like, I'm like, you don't need another one of these, but do I? Do I? If you are a busy person on the go, these shadows blend like a dream. Super fast, super easy, make everything look nice. This is an amazing highlighter that, yes, you can use for your face, but I love it on the lids. I pulled this out by itself just to stick this on my lids when I've tried other palettes. Also, this blush, it's a nice matte blush. She's really pigmented, but she can also be worn down so it doesn't give you too much of that rosy look. I mean, look at that. So pretty. Reminds me even a little bit of this guy here. She's so creamy and buttery. I love this whole palette, love this formula. You haven't heard me talk about her in a couple months, but it's not because I'm not using her. I mean, look at that pan. Look at her. I still love her. I just know I was talking about her probably way too much for a while. And I do have some other things that I have been loving behind the scenes from Boxy, things that I've purchased that I've been talking about. But yes, she is still, she's going to be one of my top contenders for year-end with Boxycharm. It's just how it is because I love her so much. All right, you ready for some throwbacks? Let's do some throwbacks for eyeshadow palettes, because who remembers Alamar? Who remembers this Volume 1 palette that I could not stop talking about? A lot of us could not stop talking about her because she's so pretty. There's some really gorgeous shimmers in here and some good mattes. I have to tell you though, as far as the quality goes, if you're looking for a palette that has amazing shimmers, the Alamar shimmers are amazing. I think they are better than their mattes personally. That's my personal preference with how I enjoy shadows. I think these are standouts. I've pulled this palette out just for the shimmers, especially the El Malcon shade or the La Costa shade. I think they are beautiful, but these blues are also stunning. When the neutral eye look with the pop of blue was a huge thing, this was my go-to blues. I love them so much because you have a little bit of a green one here and then you have a deeper like ocean blue, and they both go so well with so many different eye looks. These matte shades are nice too, but I haven't reached for them. And yeah. Have I reached for these at all? If I've reached for this palette, it's for the shimmers. I haven't reached for these mattes in a while because they're really not the standout formula for Alamar, in my opinion. I think the shimmers are far better and kind of where my heart goes when I am reaching for this. So I may have reached for this within the past 6 to 8 months for the shimmers, but it's probably for one of these two up here because they are such a unique thing that I don't have anywhere else in my collection. I adore them. Haven't reached for them much. I could see myself pulling out maybe the El Malcon shade on the seasons for like the holidays or whatnot. But as much as I like her, I've got really good palettes right now and this is pretty limited. So yes, I still like her, but do I reach for her? I was going to say weekly. That was going to be an obvious no. Monthly? No. Quarterly, maybe. Maybe quarterly. It's not that she's bad, it's just that I've got a lot in my collection, and really, I only reach for 4 shades, the shimmers. Alright, anytime I see this roaming around on the pop-ups or add-ons, I still tell you to get her because I think she is really great. This is the Tartist Pro Remix palette. And this has some neutral shades in it, but it also has some nice vibrant shades. You've got a purple, you've got a gold, you've got these greens and blues in there. There are a lot of options in here. She's really pretty. She is kind of big, as you can see. She's pretty bulky, but you know, we love our palettes in all sizes. We're not here to judge, and I still think this is a really good quality formula from Tarte. I haven't talked about her in a while because I have been getting some other big palettes from Boxy, also some things that I have been purchasing. So it's not that I don't reach for this, it's just more this is sometimes an assist palette for me because there are a ton of shimmers and I think 2 mattes, yeah, they got these 2 mattes in her, which are very neutral and they're cooler toned, and as you could tell from my eye look today, I do tend to lean a bit more warm, especially in the fiery hot seasons. I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a fire sign, it's just how I am, it's how I am built. So I do sometimes reach for maybe other palettes to start an eye look, and then I go into these shimmery shades for maybe a liner. I love using these green tones for a liner on my lids with a neutral look. I think it is beautiful. I've also done that with the purples. I've done that with the golds. I use this more as an assist palette. I would say I maybe use her quarterly as well. Not monthly, not weekly, but quarterly. I do still really like this. It's in no jeopardy of being decluttered from me because you still can get really good looks with this. These shimmers are really great even in the crease. I happen to really enjoy this palette, and I have recommended her so much. This was a lot of makeup from Boxycharm that I had seen some questions about, but also I knew some of these were things I never shut up about. So if you have any others for me, let me know. Ask the questions below. Do I still use this? Do I still use that? Things that I never shut up about. Maybe I'll make a part 2. And let me know if you'd like to see a drugstore version, because I found myself even finding drugstore things and I'm like, oh, I haven't talked about this in a while, but how do I feel about it? Do I still use it? Is it just something I use quarterly or weekly? Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you happen to be new to my loud, weird, crazy, unique channel, hi new friends, I really hope you take a quick moment to hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on the upcoming videos I've got coming for you this month. This is gonna be a great month. I am so excited for it. Bye friends.